Assalamu alaikum, George. How are you
Walaikum
today?
salam wa rahmatullah barakatuh. How would you like to follow that from Mike in the Bahamas? Are you
Most
offended?
definitely.
Are you offended by me wishing you or someone else a Merry Christmas?
I'm not offended, but I am offended by you guys trying to push this thing onto the government that are trying to include others, including Muslims, saying like, let's respect our other faiths and not go over all this crap. As a Muslim that work in the British, British servant, civil servants, as you guys call it, as a Muslim, George, do they ever celebrate Ramadan or Eid with the Muslims that live in Britain? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, actually, increasingly, people will wish Ramadan Mubarak to people on the Eid.
But it's not official, right?
Hold on.
It's not official, right?
Well, no, I think Muslims, by and large, take Eid as a holiday and with the best wishes of everybody else. But Muslims are a tiny minority here. Christians are an overwhelming majority here. And they believe that Christmas is important to them. And most Muslims are sensible enough to wish them well, to wish them well on Christmas. Why do we want to divide our people?
Yes, but the thing is, it's not division. It's having inclusion of everybody that lives in the country. Yes, Christianity is majority, but there's a larger number of Muslims that live in the country.
Well,
the
there's 2 million.
is Muslim.
There's 2 million Muslims in Britain out of 70 million people. So it's a small percentage, but a percentage which lives among us and whose faith has to be respected.
Definitely. So, George, I want to move on to the immigration point as well that you lamented earlier.
Go on.
I was going to ask you to say, would it be healthy for all of us if we say all the white people that live in Africa move back to wherever you came from, all the Africans and Muslims go back to wherever you live, and you guys leave us alone?
No,
because it seems to me the way you analyzed it, I mean, that's an ideal world.
No,
but it seems to me the way you analyzed it.
Well, Abdi, it wouldn't be healthy, and it wouldn't happen. The whole ethos of Nelson Mandela and the South African government was that they wanted everyone that was in South Africa to stay there. And I want everyone that's in Britain to stay here. But I don't want to solve the problems of Somalia by bringing Somalia to Britain, or Afghanistan by bringing Afghanistan to Britain. We do need legal, controlled immigration, but we'll pick and choose who we allow to come in. That's our right, and I think it's a right that should be respected. What say you?
George.
Yeah.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, very well. The whole world is listening.
Yes, George. So let me say this. Few years ago, the government of Britain and the USA have landed all over the shores of the world without any invitation.
Sure.
The same thing that we are landing on your shores today. Nobody asked them their agenda. Nobody asked them their evolution will or what they have intention in their mind. Just as you mentioned, your great-grandfather immigrated, was economic and immigrant. Nobody asked him, why are you today closing the door on those that are coming in and saying, I want to know where you come from, I want to know why you are here.
Well, first of all, I don't need any lessons from you about opposing the imperialist wars of the 21st century and in the 20th century, because I think you know I was an opponent of those wars and remain so. The difference is this, that mass immigration is bad for the countries from which the immigrants are leaving and bad for the country or countries in which the immigrants are arriving. First of all, it strips the almost always much poorer countries of the brightest and the best and the youngest and the hardest working and the most adventurous and entrepreneurial. It takes all these sectors away from the poor country that they are leaving. If you don't believe me, walk into any hospital in Britain and see the people from poor countries who are working, looking after us in our health service. Who's looking after the poor and the sick in the poor countries that they have left? God only knows.
But yes,
it is bad. Hold on, I'll let you in. It is bad for us because we are already suffering a lack of housing, a low level of wages, pressure on our schools, on our health service. And we cannot accept large numbers of people from elsewhere because that will only add to those problems. It will only drive wages down further. It will only make school places more scarce because we have a government and we have a system that has already broken millions of our people. And that can never be repaired if you add to that injury a flood of people from poor countries who will merely exacerbate the problem. Last word to you, Abdi.
Okay, since you mentioned South Africa, right now as we speak, there are white South Africans that are arguing to have their own country from the black South Africans. Just for your FYI. Secondly,
that's always been true, but it will never happen. Go on.
But right now, it looks like it. To be honest with you,
it will never happen.
Rhetoric.
It will never happen. Go on. Stop setting
Hopefully
up.
they will leave there. They will leave there before
stop
that
building
happens.
up straw men so you can knock them down. Get to your point.
Okay. So my point is, do you agree with me right now? I agree with you. Everything you said, 110%. All the problems you mentioned exist in your countries right now. If we ask your government to stop meddling in our countries and say, you know what?
You're asking
stop
me
giving
that?
money to those.
Abdi,
Huh?
Abdi, you're asking me that question? Me?
No, I know you know. I wanted the rest of the world to know. So
All
we can
right.
put it
well,
out.
now they do. They do.
I know.
Now they do. Thank you very much for that.